Ever since I was a kid, I've never had any big health issues growing up, other than being super skinny and self-conscious about my looks. I've always been pretty healthy all my life. Then out of nowhere, Mother Nature was like, "Hey yo, this kid's had it too good for too long, so I'ma hit him with a little something that he probably doesn't deserve, but I don't care, I'm freaking Mother Nature. I'ma do whatever I want." And boom, I got struck by a random symptom called vertigo. More specifically known as benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, or BPV for short. Essentially, it's a symptom where a change in the position of your head can trigger a false sense of rotational movement around you that can normally last up to a minute or so, which doesn't sound all that bad when presented in words, but trust me when I say this, the day I woke up with this symptom was the day I learned true fear. It was like going on one of those circular amusement park rides on turbo speed, but without any safeties on. Yeah, I was not having a fun time. After the spinning finally settled down, I felt sick to my stomach. And we're not talking about some average motion sickness here. No. I'm telling you, this feeling of nausea hit different. It felt like I just finished skydiving out of a plane, but for some dumb reason, I decided to do a million cartwheels midair before landing on the ground. I'm okay. This lasted for hours, and because the pain was so bad, I just wanted someone to ram me on a wall and knock me unconscious. Maybe even put me out of my misery. My mom called up a friend who wasn't exactly a doctor, but she was pretty experienced in the field of medicine, and once she arrived, she was given all the details to my condition and was like, "Yup. Sounds like BPV." Then after giving me some simple treatments to ease the pain, she proceeded to tell me that I might need to stay in bed for the next few weeks, which wasn't good news for me because I had a video to finish with a deadline. So I asked if they could just call the ER and have me go to the hospital instead. But because of the whole COVID pandemic situation, that wasn't really an option. And so, with a heavy heart, I updated my social media about my current situation and had no choice but to give up on posting for the month. Then when all hope seemed lost, an Aussie friend of mine who recently graduated with a doctor's degree messaged me with a solution, which was a 90-second procedural exercise that could potentially reduce or expunge the symptoms altogether. This exercise was called the Epley Maneuver. Now hearing this, you would think that I'd be keen to try this immediately, but nah fam, there was one tiny problem. It was the word potentially. This meant that the effects weren't exactly foolproof, and to me, that just wasn't gonna cut it. I mean, there was no way I was gonna go through 90 freaking seconds of deadly spinorama if it wasn't gonna work 100%. So I thanked my friend and decided to take the longer route to recovery and hoped that somehow the BPV would just disappear on its own over time. Besides, all I had to do was just lie down in bed and relax and maybe even binge some anime while I'm at it, so it didn't seem that bad.
Several days later.
So, how are you feeling? I wanna die. Okay, I don't know if you've ever lied down on your bed and not be able to get up for an entire month, but it's not exactly the ideal comfy paradise that you might think. First, let's talk about eating. People normally don't eat while lying flat on the ground because obviously it's much harder to swallow, and there's also the high risk of indigestion. I was given soup for over a week, and even that was too difficult for me to digest. Same thing applied to drinking water, and I'd even choke on some if I wasn't careful. Then there was brushing your teeth, washing your hair, personal hygiene, and don't even get me started about taking a leak or going for number 2, cause I won't. It's embarrassing. But none of these even came close to the level of discomfort I faced with this next one. Introducing bed sores. You suck! Now, you might not have had a chance to develop one of these bad boys, cause, well, you've probably never had to lie down on your bed for more than a day or two. But to put it simply, bed sores are painful aches and ulcers that form on the area of your skin that are under heavy pressure from lying down in bed for a long period of time. In order to ease some of the pain, I had to constantly shift my weight to distribute the pressure around the back of my body, which helped a little bit in the beginning, but at some point it just stopped working and my whole body just felt this constant wave of agony that not only affected my mood, but I can't even recall how many times I've cried myself to sleep just because of how sad of a state I was in. I gotta tell you, this was probably one of the most miserable times of my life, and you're probably sitting there thinking, well, TJ, you did this to yourself. If only you would have done the Epley maneuver at the start, you would have never had to go through such an ordeal. But hear me out. You have to understand, for me, going through another one of those spinning doom sensation meant death itself at the time, and my brain desperately sought for other methods, even if it meant having to endure a month's worth of physical and mental torture. However, after a month, I was finally driven to a corner, and at this point, it just wasn't worth it anymore. So I told my mom that I'd try the procedure tomorrow, and she replied with a very warm and kind-hearted tone of, well, it's about time. The night before the procedure was unusually cold and depressing, and I remember thinking to myself, wow, so this is what it feels like to wait for a death sentence. And then came D-Day. Every fiber of my being was screaming in utter fear. It took me a while to muster all the courage I had to even attempt the first 30-second stage of the exercise, but once I began, there was no going back. It was a long, grueling 90 seconds of pure spinning torment, but after following the procedure down to a T and having the support of my whole family on my back, I finished the last and final stage and got up. Then at that moment, I was nervously waiting for the same old unbearable nausea to take over my body, but instead, I felt fine. I was actually fine. It worked! Although my body wasn't in tip-top shape, the freedom I felt for the first time in weeks was beyond heavenly. And the recovery process that followed right after still took a while, but it was only a matter of time before I could hold my pen again and start working on my videos. Looking back on this now, I still have no idea what caused the perv in the first place, but I decided I wouldn't take any more chances, so I've carefully given more thought into taking better care of my health and really learned to appreciate all the little things in life, even if it's truly as simple as getting up from your bed. But you know what else I can appreciate? Some good old wireless earbuds. And that brings us to our sponsor for today, Raycon. The Everyday E25s are overall a great quality and great sounding wireless earbuds, almost half the price of other competing premium brands. Not only are they very affordable, but they have seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, 6 hours of playtime, and a more compact design that's convenient and gives a nice noise isolating fit. They also come in a new variety of colors. I actually got these bad boys a few weeks ago, and I really love using them for my daily routines like lifting weights, cleaning the house, and working on my videos, which is where I use them the most. Click the link in the description below to get your own pair for 15% off at buyraycon.com/tjtunes. Thank you again to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. So this video may not have seemed as serious as it turned out to be, but this was really one of the scariest pain I've experienced in a while. Just imagine waking up in the morning and suddenly realizing your entire surrounding is just spinning around you like some kind of horror movie. Not to mention the intense nausea that followed right after, which was so incredibly bad, almost to the point where I really wanted to knock myself out with any type of bludgeoning tool. Big thanks to my mom though for taking extra good care of me throughout the entire month of me suffering from my vertigo. She really deserves a medal for putting up with my crap. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you all so much for enjoying the video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.